Hello everybody, welcome back to How to CAD Almost Anything. Today we are in session 2. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to cover some of the things from last time, from session 1, and we're going to continue reviewing some of those Inventor commands that we learned. But more importantly, we're going to hammer down on two very important things, which I've already introduced in session 1, at least on the asynchronous session, which is the project command, where we're just like taking a geometry and we're projecting it in different planes, and more importantly, the spline tool. Essentially, in today's projects, which involve the intramurals banner and a sports kitchen, I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. We're gonna essentially bring a picture into Inventor. We're gonna use the spline to trace it all around using the concept of a master sketch. In other words, every single detail about that picture is going to appear in a singular sketch, and then we're going to continue creating multiple versions, right, multiple sketches. Essentially, we're going to build like a cake, right, layer by layer, where in each one of those new layers or new sketches, we're going to selectively project or selectively use certain parts of the original master sketch that contains all of the details of our picture. So hopefully this is going to be clearer in just a moment. Well, last time we did these two. I think it was a lot of fun just learning, getting exposed to new Inventor commands, how the environment works, and, trying to do things the old-fashioned ways without really leveraging things like symmetry or the creation of planes. And I think the overall result looks quite good. Today, it's actually at least these two projects right here. They're quite simple. I already downloaded these two pictures. We're gonna bring them into Inventor and we're gonna start tracing them around. We'll start first with the intramurals banner on the left, and then we'll do the sports keychain. Um, that's my favorite team of all time. That is River Plate. It's a soccer team, football team back home where I'm from in Argentina. And I think it's just cool to be able to honor my legacy with that. But you can choose whichever sports keychain that you want. But we'll make like a little keychain out of all of this stuff. Yeah, so let's go and start Inventor right now. Alrighty, so here we're back on Inventor. So I'm gonna go here to new, a new part. Right here we remember our blank background, how we change it using here to went to tools, application options, colors, presentation. That's how I go to. I like it when it's white like this because it's easier to take screenshots. So we'll start as usual with a sketch. I'll click on 2D sketch and we'll go here to the XY plane. And what I'll do right now is here, there's this button called image. We've already used this before when we imported the Apple logo, but now we're gonna do it, just officially introduce this concept. So I saved this picture right here. By the way, that is a preview of something that we'll be doing later. We're gonna use all of this stuff on the bonus video to CAD a Pokemon card. This is something, it's gonna be, I'll leave it for later, but I'll start with this. So I'm gonna bring our picture right here. And really today, because this is really about the skill, I don't really care A about fully defining dimensions, nor B like what the units are. So for now, this is perhaps the only time I'll ever say that. The other thing I'll do is I'll grab here a 2-point rectangle and I'll trace a rectangle. Maybe I'll make it actually a construction rectangle that goes all the way like this. And now I'll trace that. I actually go here to offset. Let me see if it allows me. Uh, yeah, loop constraint. Okay, it doesn't matter. What I can do is now when I start, I just want to have a rectangle that's gonna act really as the frame of this picture. So okay, with a center rectangle that's gonna come out from there, just like that. Oh, I want it as a, there we go, not as a construction, it's a regular rectangle. And yeah, maybe that's in inches. That's okay, because this is really the only time that we'll dimension anything. So now, what do we do now? Well, the main character of today's story involves the spline tool. So this is the part that I might actually speed up a little bit, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the spline to trace all of this figure in one sketch. And the next time I'll unmute myself, maybe like in 2 minutes, and you'll probably right now see a speed up version of what I'm going to do. That's when I'll start explaining what we'll do. So let me do that. Alright, so now, yes, we have our master sketch done. To see what we've done, it took a while to get to this point. I can just go here to the image and suppress its visibility. So we have pretty much everything written down. I know, very tedious to write even the calligraphy right here, but I think this overall looks kind of neat. Like, I like it. I might need the picture in a little bit just to look at the color scheme again. So what I can do now, looking at, I can go back here to edit that sketch. So sketch one, it's sketch, and I can just go here to parts that I think are not as nice looking, like that right there. For instance, I can move that point that way it looks slightly more uniform, but I think that's really the only area because everything else looks pretty good. I'm like quite satisfied with how this looks like, so I'll click on finish. Okay, so this sketch, we're never gonna touch it. We're always gonna leave it like this. Now we're gonna start creating new sketches based off from this one that we're gonna start to build our, say, our intramurals banner from. For example, I'll do a new sketch on that plane, and I'm gonna go to now, I can informally introduce it as well, the project geometry command, where these lines, they're all corresponding to sketch one. I didn't do it on sketch two. I can still see them, but I'm gonna just bring, you see like these ones right there, and now with 3D model, it will allow me to extrude that area like that. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit more easier to see in just a second, but suppose that I do zero point 0.5 inches as an example. Good. So now I go here to this sketch, and I wanna see this guy. There we go. Okie dokie. So we're gonna do project geometry. Difficult to see, but I'm gonna project, say, that, 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 like pretty much all of the exterior lines of the, actually, I cannot even see what I'm projecting. So I'm doing that one, I'm doing that. Good. Which means I need these guys. Let's see. How does that look so far? Good. So now maybe it could be worth. There's so many lines, right, that it's hard to even keep track. So we have that one. So we have to do that. We have to do that. All right, where are we? Standing one more, which is probably this and that, maybe. Yes. Good. So now we have all of the exterior of our beaver. Well, with the exception of that little guy right there, which is given by that. Let's see. Am I correct? Yes. Okay, so we've done the math correctly. What this means is, right, that's good, that's good, and that's good. It should be a closed sketch. So, is it really? Yes, it is. So I can now bring up this layer by, I don't know, let's say zero point 0.1 as an example. Now we have this part of the beaver out here. Maybe what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna click in here, but now what I'm interested on is all of these interior lines. This is gonna be a lot of fun. So for instance, I'm gonna go over to project. I'm gonna start by projecting, all right, 1, 2, 3. It's like difficult to keep track given how many of these there are. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I see. Okay. So I need to go now over here. I think it corresponds to that. Is it? Yes. So I believe it's here, then here. Then, oh, okay, I just realized something that I need to correct in just a second. Okay, so did it, so it gave us most of these, but that guy in here. So there I just have to add a little arch, make it be something like that. Okay, if this is fully enclosed, and I hope it is, we'll see in just a second, I should be able to, yes, excellent. So this time let's do 0.02. And now we're gonna build very thin layers. But now you can start to see how this will be coming together. So maybe for the background of that one, that way we can start to give this a little bit of color. I'm gonna go here to properties and I'll make the background white. Meanwhile, in our original picture, let's see. Actually, I could go to Chrome. Yes, I'm saving these pictures for later. Just a little surprise. But I'm gonna go here to images. I'll say MIT Intramurals banner. It remembers. So we're gonna make these. Uh, oh, the interior is red. I see. I see. I see. I see. So we want actually properties. Probably. I might leave this as gray. Honestly. Maybe. Yeah. Let's make it steel. Hmm. Hold on. Let's see. Now we're talking. Okay. So this guy extrusion two. That's gonna be white. Let me find that. Where are you? www. There we go. Meanwhile, the next one is red. So edit properties, red. Uh, R. Wood. Okay. Now we're gonna do a sketch in here because we can bring this guy right now. So I'm gonna project geometry. I project one, two, three, four, five, six. What else can we do? Base from here. Then I'll take care of that red part in a second. Okay. So I go here to 3D model and we can say, yes, let's extrude that area upwards by zero point 0.2. And that is great. So actually that can actually stay that color. So we got our beavers, at least that part is white. So what we need to do now is another sketch. Let's do here a sketch on that face. We need to give the body of our friend the beaver. So that's gonna come from these lines in here. So we're gonna project geometry. One, two, let see, maybe three and four, right? Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, 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 yeah. So we're gonna extrude this upwards by zero point 0.2. And we're gonna go here to properties and make this black. Black, 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 black. Let's see. It's like a weird textured black in there. Maybe let me see if I can change it to some other color. Hmm, is what about asphalt? We'll come back to that one later. But the point is that now we can go back here and now let's do the eye and that little detail on the back. So the new sketch on this face, project geometry, and we are gonna get the eye right here. Let's see whether we got all of it. Excellent. At least you can see it nicely marked. And now this is probably gonna be the most intense part. At least we'll slowly mark each one of the different lines. Hopefully I'm not repeating the lines. I mean, it doesn't make really much of a difference if I doubly select lines because it only will appear once. I have to go through each one of these crosses once, one by one, like this. So at least it's easier because I can always go back to the master sketch, edit these designs, and then it will update automatically because all I'm doing here is referencing these lines from the previous sketch. It's really it. Nothing too complicated. So let's see. What do you look like in here? Yeah. So we're gonna extrude that downwards. I'm gonna go here to 3D model, extrude. Now I'm gonna select that guy. I have a feeling that it's not close, and I'll tell you why in just this. Oh, exactly. Know exactly why. Because I have to go here to sketch, project geometry, one more line. There we go. So if I go here to 3D model, extrude, downwards, yes. It allows me to extrude. I'm gonna extrude maybe by zero point 0.04. No, but before we do, let me go here to edit feature. I want to continue selecting profiles. There we go. Like that. But I want to extrude more things than just that. There we go. Let's bring the eye. Okay. And that we are gonna make red as well. Uh, let's try this. Move. I kind of want it like just regular red. But I might try that for the black in a second. Let's go to R red. There we go. Now, meanwhile, for that one, properties, smooth black. Let's see. Hmm. Not sure why I keep on changing the material properties of this thing. Maybe if uh, let me see, as an entity, yeah, but I can change it from here. There we go. Okay. Okay. Analyze black. So maybe I had to change it straight from the face instead. Well, that looks much better right here. It's starting to look like our beaver. But we still have to add two more details, which are those gray lines over there, on top of the MIT intramurals name. So I'm gonna do a sketch on this face. And we need to project, there we go. There we go. One, two. And ready model. We are gonna maybe, yeah, let's give it zero point 0.2 as well. Oh, 0.02. That was, let me go here to edit. No, edit sketch. No, that was fine. There's edit feature 2.02. Now we're talking. We're gonna leave it gray like it is. Yeah, so I think that looks pretty good. Now let's bring the names. So I'm gonna go here to start a sketch. So when it comes to project entities, let me see whether let me see what hold on. I'm gonna do it this way. Excellent. Excellent. All right, how much were you able to select? In up to the tra. Okay, so I need to do all of these guys right here. What about now? And that. Okay, because I want to do them separately and you will see why in a moment. Go here to extrude. I'll select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, this one did. So why with the A it worked before? Let me try one more time. Okay, like this. The S is kind of weird. I like it how the letters look. They're very satisfying. Oh, one more time. Okay, I see. I'm gonna try to do all of them. Let me go to that A. There we go. Okay, so I just had to be careful. Ah, the same thing with the R. Come on. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Now we're talking. Excellent, excellent. One more. Okay. In remurals, now sketch in here. We're gonna bring MIT. So, bring geometry. And now I'm just gonna, there we go. I think those should be the last two. We go to 3D model. And we're gonna bring these guys up by more. Let's say 0.04. Because one thing that I want to do is go here to sketch, and we're gonna do an offset of, well, actually I should first wanna project all of these. There we go. And I'm gonna offset these by, actually I'll tell you in a moment by how much I'll offset them. 0.04. It's roughly you see how there's a little white border around them. 0.04, like that. And now these guys, we are gonna extrude upwards by 0.02. Now we're talking. Okay, so in the picture it's black, white, and red. Okay, so white, black. Okay, so let's start with that. Properties. Let's see what happens if I go to anodized black. Let's do. I like this anodized black. Mm, good. Okay, doesn't look too bad. Very good. Now these guys are white. Let's go here to properties. Mm, mm, mm. And now these guys are red. Properties red. Now to make this look prettier. Okay, red models, and why not fillet all of these? Let's say 0.5 or something. And that's kids. Can I hide it? Which one is it? That one. Hide. Hide. Let's see. There we go. Let me go here to fill it. And I think that was zinc, if I'm not mistaken. See it again. There we go. Okay. Here, so now this is a pretty, I mean, it's a nice exercise because this looks simple, but it's actually a lot more difficult than you think. Grabbing a picture and giving it volume. So you get this nice intramurals banner. We're gonna repeat this in just a second with the soccer shield, making a little logo chain. That's gonna be simpler because it has less features. But as I was already foreshadowing from the bonus video that's gonna come out, we're gonna do this to do two things. We're gonna do a Pokemon card and a Game Boy. So that's literally something that is not as trivially simple or as trivial, like straightforward as you would imagine. So just stay tuned for that in just a second. Alrighty, so now we've done already the MIT Intramuros banner, which means that what we have left for today's session two is making a keychain of your favorite sports team. It can be any sports team. In my case, it's a football team, soccer team from back home that's called River Plate. So how do we go about this process? In exactly the same way that we've done the Intramurals banner. Actually, this logo to me is actually much simpler to do than the banner. You'll see why it has way fewer details. But I think it's gonna be kind of nice, at least to practice again these ideas. This time I won't speed myself up through the tracing. I'll just narrate as we go. So here we'll start with a new sketch. You go here to the XY plane. We bring an image, and I have here the logo. So this is a nice little activity that you can do because this is something that can be completely 3D printed if you wanted to. Now, one thing that I'll mention from here is that this logo has symmetry. So I'm roughly placing it in the middle, right? You see how that seems to biject it. So I'm gonna do a construction line that's gonna go from here all the way there. So that's gonna be our line of symmetry, and you'll see how I'm gonna leverage that in a second. Because yes, I'll save it. I just created this part, but I'm gonna do a spline that's gonna go like this. And by the way, I will use. Oh, I keep on. There we go. I keep on clicking escape when I really mean the check mark, and I'm gonna use offset entities to create a nice border all around this. So then I use a regular straight line. It's gonna go like that. Then another spline that's gonna go like this. So slowly giving it some curvature. There we go. Yeah, this is a very famous team from back home. If you've never heard of this, definitely feel free to investigate at your own time. Okay, and I'm gonna move this a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's good. So I'll go here to mirror our command. Where are you? Here we go. So I'm gonna select this line, that line, and oh, I just realized one thing. That's a construction line. That's a construction. Let me just oh, click on these two. There we go. Now, yes, I'm gonna go here to mirror, mirror, mirror. I'll do one, two, three. Mirror line is gonna be here. Let's say apply. See how now we have a nice structure. I can just move that point slightly that way and correct a little bit the curvature of this thing. But yes, but this looks appropriate. So here with offset, I can just go here and say, all right, I want you to actually maybe now that I think about it, before I do the mirror, I might do the offset now. There we go. Actually, because it's doing the offset as well with. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. I think that's fine. Yes, I like how that's looking like. Maybe let me unselect the construction. Let me go one more time. There we go. Okay, I'll just get rid of that line. It's okay. Delete. Oh, okay, so I just brought it all the way there. Let me, if I can, maybe I'll delete that as well. Uh, delete coincident constraint. No. Can I make these two coincident? There we go. That is exactly what I wanted. And I suppose I'm gonna do the same thing here. If not, okay, good. Now, yes, we will mirror this stuff. So one, two, there. Oh, one. I just realized one thing. These have to be there now. Yes. You see how you keep on realizing things as you do this. So mirror. All right. One, two, three. For some reason, it's not allowing me to select that line. Same thing goes with that one. We'll see whether I mirror it on a separate time. Good. All right. Can I? No. Okay. Good. What's going on with this? Um, maybe I might be able to offset. Huh. So let me just get rid of these lines for a second. Let me just say, okay. Uh, uh, okay, there we are, just getting rid of those lines. So I'm gonna now offset the entirety of this structure and I'll bring it like that. Okay, nothing too fancy. Let me continue drawing more of this stuff. So here, actually what we're gonna do is a bit of a circle. Actually, I might do my circle closer to here. And then again, perhaps modify a little bit the size by moving it from one point to another. Uh, delete that circle. Let me try maybe more from here. No, maybe more from there. Maybe from here. All right, it's getting close. It's getting close. Maybe it should be around here then. Mm, there we go. Okay. So now I'm gonna offset that circle. I'm gonna bring it to be slightly around there. And now what we can do is use a bunch of 3-point arches to approximate, say, these like that. Then that guy and that guy make it be, oh, make it go like that. Then that guy and that guy go like that, so on and so forth. So at least this part is relatively simple now because it's not so much using the spline tool. The spline tool can be sometimes messy, so it's better. It's sometimes recommended for you to use something simpler like just a rectangle or a straight line. Even the 3-point arch gives you a lot more control over the stuff that you're drawing. Spline sometimes it doesn't look the way you want it to look. Also this there. Oh, there we go. Okay, that looks good. Let me just close that in there. Close that in there. Close that in there. So these letters mean CARP, which means Club Atlético River Plate. That's what it stands for. Let me, there we go. I'm just moving that right there. I'm just moving these lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll continue drawing a few more lines in just a second. There we go. Then all the way up to here. Good. And then there we go. On the P. And then within the R, there's two more lines that I have to draw. Action like that. Actually, right here as well. Okay, so now let's draw the remaining semicircles, and then probably I'll do those lines, but those I might actually speed it up, that way you don't have to hear me speak. Alrighty, so now we got to the point where we wanted to be. I think it took just a little bit of time getting set up, leveraging the symmetry, but I think all of the lines look correct. So I'm gonna click here in finish. And what I'm gonna do is suppress the visibility of the image. That way you can see it all in raster form, and in vectorized form. So just like we did before with the banner, we are gonna start building layer by layer of this little logo. Maybe let me go here and put river plate logo. That way we can look at the colors. This is literally the picture that I've used. So we're actually gonna start by doing a new sketch on that plane, and the easiest sketch that we can select with the project geometry command is just the exterior of this thing, which is all of that stuff right here. And say okay. So now with the 3D model, I'm gonna expand that by, this time let's go by 0.1 as an example. I'll say okay, good. And that, well, I'll still leave the sketch because I'll need it in a moment. But now we're gonna extrude the next layer in, which is all of, I can do the two banners around it. So I will start with, I'm gonna go here to project, and I'm gonna select that line, that line, that line, and that line alongside that circle. There we go. There we go. Um, uh, so where does that leave us? That leaves us like that, even though I think I could have done the exterior border, that probably should have come first. But this area right here will all be the black border. So maybe I'll do it now. It's okay. So I'm gonna continue bringing in that case, a few more of these lines. All the interior stuff. Okay, so it should be relatively quick. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'm gonna try to bring all of these contours up. Let's see whether it works. So I can say, all right, I want to select. Oh, I forgot critically. I forgot one more. I like it because at least it's not gonna allow you to select full surfaces if it's not enclosed, that polygon. So here, extrude. So we're gonna select oh, the areas that we want. So let's say, oh my goodness. There we go. Little by little, bring our polygon upwards. So all of this stuff is gonna be black. There we go. I'll say okay. So the exterior was black. That is black too. And maybe what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go here to sketch. I'm gonna project this border around this. So here, that, 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 and that. Let's see, what does that leave us? Okay. And I'm gonna go here to 3D model, extrude that, but this time by 0.05. There we go. So now we have a nice border. So that means that extrusion 1 and extrusion 2 go to properties. We are going to make that, we learned anodized black. That's the color that we want to give it. While extrusion 3 properties will make that white. So let's go down here to white. Excellent. Okay. So far, so good. What else do we have left? Well, really, we're pretty much done because all that we have to do is maybe this face, I'll make that red. Where are we? Red. Yeah, repeat finish. Red. There we go. I wonder whether, however, smooth red. Maybe is there an anodized red? Is my question. Let's see. Anodized back. No, anodized. I wonder whether there's another type of red that we could use in here that might look also interesting. Uh, it's okay. We'll leave it like that. Okay. And now we just have to bring the letters. So we do a new sketch in here. And now this is going to be tough to identify the letters themselves. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide. Let's see whether I can, for a second, I'm going to say finish. Let me see. Actually, you know what? I might color this side. Let me go. Let me click here. If I cannot see a lot, if it's all black, so I'm gonna color this. Um, what would be an interesting? Let's say it's brass. Right there we go. Now I can see a little bit better. So I click here and sketch on that little face. Okay. And now, actually, we were on I can delete this one. We were on sketch 5. There we go. Edit. And all I'm gonna do is project geometry, all of the different letters. I mean, I could select all of them at the same time, just by drawing a box. The thing is that that might select a little bit more things than just the letters themselves. So that's why I'd rather be cautious and select them all slowly, one by one, just like this. Let's see. Good. Okay. So now I'm gonna just slowly, there we go. We are gonna bring this upwards, and that is black as well. Edit, edit. Actually, to make it more poetic, I might make that brush. I think that would look kind of nice. Brush. B. We are the champions right there. And this is so now I can go back to that sketch and hide it, visibility. Well, we don't need to see it, but I can add like a little piece on top of this to make it really into a keychain. So here, go to sketch on this face, And what we're gonna do is draw a line, construction line that's gonna go all the way like that. So what we can do is draw something that's gonna, yes, let me just bring it, there we go. Let me bring it like that. Let me bring two construction lines that are gonna go like this, like that. Let me make those two coincident. Let me make this and maybe make that point and that point coincident too. There we go. That'll make it construction because I don't want it. However, I do want to define the length of that stuff. So I can say 0.4. Actually, that might be too much. Say 0.3. I'm gonna do a little arch in here. There we go. And what we can do is extrude this. Actually, before we do anything, on I'm gonna do one more circle. It's gonna go. No, where did our line go? We just need to do one more line that goes all the way like this. Actually, that line has to be a construction line. There we go. And now, yes, I can draw a circle that's gonna go maybe here. Okay, we can extrude this stuff in the opposite direction by 0.5. Oh, but I want to not necessarily extrude cut. I want to add. There we go. And we are gonna make out of that. Let me just go here to properties. That's gonna be brass as well. Brass. Satin. Yeah. There you have. So that's how you can make a very easy keychain of your favorite sports team. That's great. So thank you very much for sticking along all the way to this point. I hope you enjoyed this session and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the bonus video. Bye bye.